person setting cones during the competition is an important member of the show team. You will be stationed in or just outside of the cones course area. Each carriage has been measured before the class, and the cones are set a number of inches or centimeters wider than the carriage wheels. Some shows provide a list of competitors and the settings for the cones for each. In other shows, the settings are called out to the cone setters before the competitor enters the ring.
Your next setting is 170 centimeters.
In some cases, a show will be able to group the same wheel width so that it is not necessary to change cone measurements with each competitor. As a cone setter, you will probably be asked to set several pairs of cones. Accuracy is very important, as this is where the winner is decided, and often scores are just one knockdown apart. Work quickly as possible to avoid delays. Be very watchful, as you might be called upon if you witnessed a questionable ball down. Do not reset the cones or replace balls until the competitor is finished, to be sure that knockdowns are counted by the judge. Since pleasure driving competitions are quite formal, it is important that all persons dress appropriately. Neatness is essential. Consider the weather and take a hat for sun or rain gear. Be sure your shoes are comfortable, as you will be walking and standing for long periods. Be sure to report to the obstacle ring 30 minutes before the competition to receive instructions. A variety of cones competitions can occur in pleasure driving. They include timed, gambler's choice, progressives, scurry, town and country, double jeopardy, reverse psychology, pick your route, and your route, my route. The steward or clerk of cones will give instructions to cone setters concerning the kinds of settings needed for each of the different cones competitions. For example, in progressive cones, each pair of cones gets narrower from the first ones to the last. Always move the cone by the white number marker unless you are on a circle. Then move the outside cone. In some competitions, the cones not to be moved will have a line around the base, and the movable cone will have a line extending out from it, so that when moved, it will stay on the same plane. The numbers will always be on the outside edge of the cones, red on the right, white on the left. The cones most used are regulation cones that are rounded on one side and flat on the other. However, some local competitions do use traffic cones for informal shows. Properly, balls of a certain weight are used to ensure that slight rubs or wind does not knock them off the cone. A water-filled ball is available, but does suffer in freezing weather and can leak. Practice dimpled plastic baseballs do the job, and tennis balls can be used, but they are considered a bit light. The cones must be placed like this. As you see, the angle of the cone toward the outside allows for clearance of the hubs. If traffic cones are used, measure from the corner to corner, not from the flat edge. This measuring stick provides an inside accurate measure either in inches or in meters. Competitions may use measuring tapes which require very careful handling to ensure accuracy. The clerk of cones will indicate the cone width for each competitor. When you are finished setting the cones, wave the stick in the air or just give an agreed upon signal. Often, if a ball is dislodged, the judge will ask the cone setter to wave his stick indicating a ball down. Do watch to see if a ball is dislodged by wind or something other than the horse and tell the judge about that. Remember, the measuring stick is not a sword, a hoe, nor a cane. Care should be taken that they are handled carefully and stored safely. Please don't hesitate to ask if you have questions concerning setting the cones or using the measuring stick. The clerk of cones or steward will be responsible for setting the course. Numbers will be placed on each side of the cones, red on the right, white on the left. The start and finish pair on the cones will have no balls on them, but will be signed start and finish. The clerk and/or the technical delegate will be responsible for inspecting and approving the course. Thank you for volunteering. We couldn't do it without you.